How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to episode 1 of the Z Roll podcast.
How about that banger of an intro song, if I do say so myself.
Lacey is very proud of this song. She's actually really good at picking songs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
one talent I have.
One talent. No, but seriously, this is hilarious. Like a little bit of about Lacey really fast. By the way, my name's Justin. This is my lovely wife, Lacey.
Hello.
And we are starting a podcast. This is episode 1, obviously. We just mentioned that. But here we are recording a podcast. Now, Lacey, who I just introduced.
Right. That's me.
That is Lacey. She, back in the day, she's like, hey, I would love to take a movie trailer and find the music for it. You know what I mean?
I was like, that would be such a fun job. Please hire me. I can do this. It was just a weird confidence I have no experience in, but I really enjoy it.
And you kind of do that.
I do
so,
now.
A little bit of backstory of us. We have a YouTube channel. We also have a business where we edit, do graphic design. It's called Z Roll Productions. Our vlog is called Our Z Roll, and this podcast is called Z Roll Podcast. Boom. Right there. So a little bit of backstory. We'll talk more about us as we kind of continue with this podcast and stuff.
Right.
Because that's kind of the main core of this is we kind of want to take topics that you guys have asked us and kind of go in more detail.
Deeper dives.
Right. And all that stuff. But before we kind of talk about that, because this podcast is pretty much going to be talking about what we're doing.
Right.
Like kind of like the origin of the why we're doing this.
The intro.
The pilot.
The pilot.
Oh. Okay, so a little bit about pilots is I'm scared because it's like it's the first of something.
I hate firsts. I hate it.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, you know, you're trying to like build like a good, reputation.
Right.
Like first impressions.
There's so much pressure.
There's so much pressure in first impressions. And so this is what it is. And as you guys know, with a pilot, for like a TV show, like if they don't have the viewers or the ratings go down, they cancel the show. This is the pilot. This is the pilot, Lacey.
Do you want to hear an embarrassing story?
Oh, do tell.
Okay, so this goes along with the topic. I'm not rabbit trailing already. But speaking of pilots, I remember watching a TV show, and the first episode I see in the title, and it says pilot, as we discussed. And I was so confused by the end of this episode, wondering why the heck they called it a pilot when there was it had nothing to do with a pilot. There was no pilot in it. I was so confused. I don't know if you remember this, but I did ask you later, and you just looked at me so kind and said, Lacey, every first episode.
Wait, was that sarcastic? Did I look at you so kind?
So kindly.
That doesn't sound like me. I kind of probably was sarcastic.
You were probably like, are you kidding me right now? Every first episode of a series.
I'm glad you remember me as so kind.
I did.
Okay.
You were so kind and graceful.
Love that.
And we're just like, dearest Lacey, let me let you in on this. No, you're like, are you kidding me? Like every first episode is called a pilot. And I was like, wow, I feel like an idiot. So there it is.
There it is.
There's my embarrassing story.
There it is. So, this is the pilot. This is the beginning.
Right.
And we're going to try to keep this pretty raw. Like, we're going to try not to edit a lot of this.
Yeah.
And so, watch out for ums and ahs and all that. We're trying actually to be on TBH is what the kids say.
They do.
Is we're trying to take filler words out of our vocabulary.
Right. Especially because we're used to doing like YouTube. So starting the podcast, I even told Justin today, I'm like, I'm kind of nervous because it's so centered on what we're saying. I mean, you can watch us too. Hello, guys.
Yeah, by the way, we are on YouTube as well. We're recording this podcast if you want to watch it visually.
Right.
So.
But then there's just so much more focus on when we hear, so, yeah, those filler
And we really want
words.
to try to keep this pretty raw and not do a lot of editing. So we're going to try. I mean, there might be some we take out, but for the most part, we're going to try to, be better at not having filler words.
Right.
Because filler words they're kind of dumb. Because okay, let me rephrase that. Listen to me.
Everybody does.
We are literally rabbit trailing right now,
I know.
but I don't care. This is our podcast.
Right.
But also we're trying to build a good reputation.
Yeah.
This is our first impression. So we're probably just completely just messing people up right now.
I hope not.
They're
Sorry.
probably like, you know what? I hate this. This is a waste of time. So for that, we are sorry. But I feel like we have to finish this thought.
Okay, let's do
we're
that.
we're already down the hole.
We're already
okay?
down the hole.
So it basically, when you have a filler, like an or whatever,
So
it's your brain is trying to catch up for your next thought.
right. It's almost like it's a bridge, like to your next thought.
Is that a quote by Lacey Zachman, 2023?
That is a quote.
A filler word is a bridge.
I don't know why you added the year to that.
So for example, so in this case, we need to burn the bridge.
Let's burn the bridge.
Burn the bridge.
Burn the bridge with silence.
Actually, funny you say that, because they say when you're doing like public speaking, that confident pausing is actually really good to have.
It is.
Because it kind of like the viewer, the listener, it basically leans into
I
your
was
next
just
thought.
about to say that word. I'm like, you kind of lean in more. You're like holding on to it.
But it has to be confident.
Right.
So next time we say an and or we should just be silent and like come in confident.
Right.
Like we meant to do that, even though like we're probably inside like, oh my gosh, what do I say next?
And now we just told everybody our secret.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
We're being real. And this is why we wanted to do this podcast, because we wanted to just be more raw, be more real, and talk about topics that you guys have asked us that honestly just don't work on a YouTube video.
Right. Or they would just take up way too much time. And again, you can just listen to it, those kind of things.
There's not a lot of visual effects and stuff
sure.
and
Right.
all that. So we thought, let's make a podcast, and we're still recording it for those who want to watch us in our studio. So we're going to wave to you right now if you're watching us on YouTube. Hello. Thank you for being here. Okay. So the structure of our podcast, let's talk about that. When we start a podcast, we are going to start with something that I think honestly is such a good way to start something. Okay. Here it is. We're going to start with an icebreaker.
Yes.
Because if you are in the corporate world, if you are like Lacey is a teacher or was a teacher, trying to still figure that one out. But
I don't have my own classroom currently.
yeah,
I'm just subbing.
because she's now a business owner. Congratulations,
I guess so.
Lacey.
Well, thank you, Justin.
You're very welcome, Lacey Zachman. But what was I saying?
So we're talking about
Oh, icebreakers. Yeah,
Icebreakers,
thank
yep.
you for that, Lacey. This is our first podcast, everybody. So give us some grace. But the reality is podcasting. Oh my goodness.
Icebreakers.
We're not gonna edit this. We're gonna keep on going.
Okay.
Icebreakers.
Yes.
So icebreakers are used everywhere. Actually, Tucker, which is our youngest boy.
Yes.
Okay, because we have a girl now. I almost said youngest, but he's not. He's our middle.
By the way, if you don't watch us on YouTube and you don't know our family, we do have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker. Let's start with the first, actually. Landon, Tucker, Juniper.
Which is
Boom.
She's 5 months old.
Yes. And then the other 2 are boys, and they are 7 and 5.
Yeah.
So
Tucker just turned 5 like yesterday.
there's that.
Anyway, so
'Kay.
I woke up this morning and I was pouring my cup of coffee, and he's like, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like this. What would you rather have, coffee or soda? And I was like, even a 5-year-old is throwing down an icebreaker for me to
First thing
start
in
the
the
day.
morning.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to
Wow.
wake up your brain.
Right.
I want to get to know you more, Dad.
Right.
This is what's happening." And I'm like, "That is a great question, Tucker."
Right.
I'm like, "Coffee."
Yep.
100%. Like I could totally put away soda. Like I love soda, like
Yeah.
with like Mexican food and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially like Coke. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But like I don't need to have that. Coffee though, I need it.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm like, that's great. So anyway, corporate world to even a 5-year-old, icebreakers are
Yeah.
a thing.
It is. They love doing would you rather.
Yeah, I'm a youth pastor, and I use icebreakers all the time with the kids.
Yep.
They're all about it. They
And
love it. They
as a
love
teacher,
it.
yeah,
Would
I
you
used them
rather's, all that stuff.
in my classroom, and they're so much fun. So we're gonna bring that here.
Yes. So every podcast we're gonna start with an icebreaker. So without further ado, icebreaker.
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Lacey, if you were a cheese,
Oh boy.
what cheese would you be? Some icebreakers might be a little bit more interesting, like
Deeper.
Like deeper. This is not deep.
No,
but
not
it
at
could
all.
be deep. It depends on how you answer it. Actually, that's
This
why
one-
icebreakers are great.
This one's actually a little cheesy.
Oh gosh,
That was a dad joke for sure.
That might have been a mom joke.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure
There's a big difference
there
between mom
is-
jokes and dad jokes.
Yeah. Let us know. So if you guys want to comment and interact with us, you can go to our YouTube channel, Our Z Roll, and comment below.
Yes.
And so let us know. Was that a mom joke? A dad joke? Was that an auntie joke? An uncle joke?
Or just a really bad
just a
joke.
horrible joke. Anyway.
Okay, here we go. Cheese. So I'm going to have to go with a very fancy Swiss cheese.
Okay.
Fancy cheese. So,
So if you
the
woke
reason
up
why,
and you were a cheese,
yeah,
like why?
let me explain.
Okay.
I was getting there. So, so why? So Swiss cheese. I said, sorry guys.
It's okay. Burn the bridge.
Burning it. I grew up always loving Swiss cheese. Whenever we'd make sandwiches, everybody just knew Lacey likes Swiss. I still love Swiss.
That's hilarious, honestly, because whenever you make sandwiches, I know you're gonna reach for the Swiss.
Yes,
Like
for sure.
It's like it's your identity.
I guess it is. And we don't have it that much because I'm the only one that really likes it, let's be honest. So when I do have it in the house, I'm like, we have Swiss cheese, everyone. Anybody want Swiss cheese? I want everybody loves Swiss cheese.
I think the reason why I'm not like a big Swiss cheese person is because I feel like there's not enough taste.
Because the holes. It's missing too much cheese.
Chipped on my cheese. It's like, bro.
I know. I want a full slice.
What?
Fill these stupid holes.
Yeah. What the heck's your problem?
That's my favorite part because I'd like, as a kid, put my finger in the holes and rip it apart and just eat it. I don't know.
My favorite part is having more cheese.
Okay.
And they're just like, hey, let's cut cost and put holes in. Actually, I don't even know. There's probably
costs.
Why is there? There's a reason why there's holes in Swiss.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
But do I know that? No.
Hey, you guys should let us know that.
Yeah.
Why is there holes in Swiss? It's probably how it's obviously made, but
right.
Or is it just some guy who's just trying to make more money? Just take it. I kind of want to think that.
I know, right?
So is that everything? Do you want to talk more about it?
I think that's it. That's me.
It's good.
Just plain old Swiss.
So if I was a cheese, if I woke up tomorrow and I was just a cheese,
okay.
I was the big cheese. Okay.
That was a dad joke.
Was that a dad joke? Yeah. Just so you know, Lacey is sipping coffee.
Sorry, if you can't see me. Yes.
So, I think I would be goat cheese.
Okay.
Because
why would you be goat cheese,
the
Justin?
goat. I am the goat.
The greatest. Wait, don't tell me.
Okay.
Greatest of all time. I just learned that too.
And that is
for football, right?
Guys, yeah,
okay.
Well, that's with any.
Is it anything? Okay.
But the reality is I am 100% just joking. Hundo P is what the kids say.
By the way, if you hear us say a lot of like really cool things that the kids say, it's because Justin's a youth pastor and we like find these things out. Like, what honestly, are you guys saying? And then I asked Justin, I'm like, what does this mean? He's like, oh, let me go ask the youth.
Like Gucci. It's so Gucci.
So that's how we stay.
But the funny thing
cool.
is by the time it gets to me, it's probably not cool anymore.
That's true.
Because it changes fast.
I know. As soon as I hear the new things, I'm like, we don't say that anymore. I was like, okay, so lit.
I'm still gonna say
lit is no more.
Don't ever say lit. That is gone. It's bad. Fire is still kind of there.
Okay.
But again, you can't say that. If I go and be like, "That's fire," people are gonna look at you and be like, "You're an idiot for saying that."
So.
Okay, we should do it. Hundo P. We should do a podcast on these.
This will be fun.
Bet.
That's yeah.
One. Yeah. No, we should.
I've heard about that one
too.
We
are so rabbit trolling. This is insane.
Cheese.
I'm sorry if we're wasting your time. I'm letting you guys know it will be more structured as we go on. This is just kind of like the open.
Yeah, well. Okay. Goat
My
cheese.
Goat cheese is because it reminds me of traveling.
Okay.
I think that's why, and I love to travel because when I go to Europe, there's always goat cheese. There's always like feta cheese, that kind of stuff. And I would say feta cheese too.
Yeah.
But I would say feta or goat cheese. Because it reminds me of Europe.
For sure.
Of traveling.
I know. I remember we've gone to Europe several times together in Romania, and they just give you like a platter of just cheeses in the morning for breakfast. Yeah. You're just like, okay, we're having cheese for breakfast. Yeah. But yeah, goat cheese does definitely remind me of that for sure.
It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, this is not going to be, I don't even know how long we've been doing this for.
I don't either.
We're continue with the structure. We're going to start with an icebreaker. Then we're going to kind of go into letting you guys know it's going to be about a 30-minute podcast.
Right.
We're going to try to shoot for.
Yep.
And then our topics are going to be anywhere from what the kids say to like deep topics like how to set boundaries with families and kind of what we've learned and all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about maybe like what was it like growing up as a pastor's kid. Just these topics that I think you guys have asked us,
right?
And we've just kind of like
barely
archived them.
Yeah, right. Or sometimes we barely get to brush them because sometimes we'll hit them up in our coffee chats. We get questions from you guys. We do those.
If you don't know, our coffee chat is we'll just go on Instagram, which you can find us Z Roll on Instagram. That's our handle, and you can just we'll just sometimes say, hey, you have any questions for us? And sometimes they're fun, and we'll just talk them over. And we'll still do those on a podcast. We'll just do a coffee chat where we'll just answer a bunch of like fast questions.
Right.
But there's always those questions that are just, it's going to take 30 minutes to answer.
And we're like, this is going to take up our whole video.
Yeah.
So we're excited that we like Justin said, we've been archiving those for times like this.
What are some other ones that we were talking about?
There's some marriage ones that we've gotten,
Some
parenting questions. So we'll kind of hit up those
and
as
then
well.
There's some fun ones too. I think we're kind of talking about like kind of pet peeves and stuff. Because we were talking about that the other day. Like we're just like annoyed with each other with stuff we do.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we should talk about that.
Right.
Because that's we're talking about also like me being the spender, you being like the saver, and kind of like how that works in a marriage.
Right.
And how frustrating and how fun it can be. Because let's be honest, there's so many things that I will purchase that you're like, why did you do that? Yep. And then you're like, thank God you did that.
Hundo P.
So anyway, but if there's any more topics, and the reason why we're talking about this is if there's any more topics you'd like to see on this podcast, let us know. Mm-hmm. You can also go to ourzero.com or zerollpodcast.com or zerollproductions.com. They all get you to the same spot.
Cool.
And you can kind of find out more about us, about our vlog, about our production business, if you have any editing needs or, graphic design, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And also you can check out our podcast as well there. And we'll put like the most recent podcast on that website, and then where you can also find the podcast, like, Apple Podcast and wherever else it's going to be. Because I'm not actually sure where else it's going to be, but we'll talk more about that as it gets launched.
For sure.
In future episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. Lacey, I think we did it.
I think
we just did our first. We're clapping. If you're watching us, you see the clap.
This is called a high five, by the way.
It's the most awkward. Okay, so
we're clapping.
So one thing I want to talk about, and I want to know if anyone knows about this. So I used to work for Apple, and we would always laugh when there was a time when Tim Cook thought it was a great idea to, or Apple, I should say, and Tim Cook, whatever, it was a great idea to have U2, the band, just all of a sudden be on everyone's phone.
Oh, yes.
Like, it was like a thing where we're going to give you a free album.
Here you go.
Here you go. And I remember when I was working for Apple, like, there was angry customers.
Oh,
They're like, why in the world did this just show up on my phone?
And how do I get it off?
And they were mad. I'm like, well, number one, it's free songs. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But no, people don't like it. People did not like it. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when they announced that during their keynote, Bono and Tim Cook, and if you're watching, they did something like this. They went like this, and they put their fingers up, and they like touched fingers. Like,
I remember that.
Like E.T.
Yeah.
You can look that up on Google. It's hilarious. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put the picture.
Yeah.
But when we did our high five, I just felt like we were like Bono and Tim Cook, just like, hey, it's all awkward and stuff.
Because we didn't even slap. It was just like, hey, where's your...
It's so dumb. Anyways, guys, again, you can find us on YouTube, but I would head over to Z Roll Productions or Z Roll Podcast or ourzero.com, whatever. Like, it all goes to the same spot. And we'll put all that stuff in the show notes as well. And, but I think we're done.
I think we are.
I think we're going to wrap up our pilot. And do you know how we're going to wrap this up?
I'm so excited for the second episode. Because we got it done.
The pilot's done. I think that's
done.
The most pressure for some reason.
There really is.
Because what are we gonna say? And I think we just rabbit trailed the entire time. But it worked. We still structured it though.
I think.
Good job, Lacey Zachman.
Thank you.
So I think we're gonna end with our song that you picked out. We're gonna outro the intro.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Get your dance moves ready.
Here we go. All right, guys. We will see you in the next Z Roll podcast.